This is Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Tinderblox. This is a very little game that comes in a little tin. The designer was actually very kind to send this game to me, and I got to play it with my family over the weekend, and they liked it so much, and they have access to a lot of little kids, my nieces and nephews, that I left it with them. That's why I don't have to show it to you today, but I really did enjoy this game. It is basically a game where you are building a fire. Physically and tangibly, it is a very much a competitive dexterity game. I believe from 1 to 4 players. We played at the full 4-player count. You're using these little tweezers to pick up little blocks and put them on a little campfire. Everything's very small in this game, in the hopes that when you place those pieces, nothing topples over. It doesn't topple over, or no pieces fall off the campfire. So very simple game. But it added one little thing, and this has lingered with me a little bit because it was a very clever little touch in the game, in that what determines the pieces that you need to put on this campfire are cards that you draw. Again, little cards. Everything's little in this game. So you draw this card, and you see sometimes you'll see just one cube on there or one little log, and you'll put that on the stack. But sometimes you'll see more than one component. It'll say, okay, you need to put a yellow cube on top of a log. And the really clever touch, I think, that the designer put in here to make this a competitive game, to make this work as a competitive game, is that when you have more than one piece on a card, and sometimes the card tells you to use your dominant hand, sometimes your non-dominant hand, when you have more than one piece there, you must put it, you can put, or you should put, the two pieces together off of the campfire at first, and then you grab the lower of the 2 pieces, or 3 pieces, there might be some 3-piece ones, and put them all together on the campfire at the same time. And the reason I like this is that it solves the problem of giving a distinct disadvantage to players who have to put, who would otherwise have to put more than one piece on the campfire at a time. Because every time you put a piece on the campfire, you greatly increase your risk of knocking down the campfire. So I really like this subtle touch in the rules that say you get to stack those pieces as you wish with no risk off of the campfire and then move them onto the campfire at the same time. So it levels this playing ground. Even though some cards are a little bit more harder than others, you're not saying to a player multiple times on your turn, you need to go and touch this campfire and risk being eliminated from the game and losing the game. So I really like that. It solves otherwise an important problem in the game that would be there, and it also allows for the game to have this variability in the cards, and not just have every card be exactly identical. Have these cards that do require you to put 2 or 3 pieces onto the campfire at the same time. So I think that's really, really clever. In terms of design and component implications, mostly it allows for this to be a competitive game. And have more variety in the cards. I think there are 2 types of cubes and then logs. I think the cubes probably could have been different shapes, or slightly different shapes to add a little more variety, because there really is, as far as I can tell, there's no difference between a yellow cube and a red cube in the end, other than looking nice to have different colors in the campfire. So I think that the designer could have maybe had several different sizes there to add a little bit more variability. But as it is, I think it still works just fine. And how do I see this used elsewhere? I'm trying to think of other games that do this. There aren't many competitive dexterity games that I play on a frequent basis. One of my favorites is Crokinole. Another is Coconuts. I like both of those games. And both of them, those games present the puzzle. It's kind of a player-created puzzle over the course of the game. You're not drawing a card like you are in this game, and that card is telling you this is what you need to do this turn. Rather, in Crokinole, you are faced with a current board state, a current game state, and that is the puzzle that you need to solve on your turn. So I do think in any competitive game where you are given a puzzle that you need to solve in that moment, that giving players a little bit of freedom, a little bit of flexibility before the moment when they need to impact the shared space, in this case the campfire, I think is a really nice inclusion, I think, as Tinderblox shows. So that's my favorite mechanism. This is one of the first videos that I've done that follow this new format where I'm trying to talk about the design implications throughout a specific mechanism. So let me know if this is working out for you, or if you'd like me to tweak it a little bit. I am happy to work on this and make this as best value, or the best value for you as you watch. And if you have any other examples that you can think of, other games that use a similar mechanism, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.